Planes and regions of abdomen and the fascia of anterior abdominal wall. So in this we will be discussing the competency, that is transpyloric plane, transtubercular plane and regions of the quadrants of the abdomen. To describe the location of masses and pain in a typical clinical write-up, anterolateral abdominal wall is divided into 9 regions by 4 imaginary lines, 2 vertical, that is mid-clavicular or mid-inguinal, and 2 horizontal, that is transpyloric and transtubercular planes. Transpyloric plane corresponds to midpoint between umbilicus and xiphoid process, crossing the pylorus of stomach at the level of L1 vertebra. Subcostal plane passes across the costal margins and the upper border of third lumbar vertebra and may be used instead of transpyloric plane. Intertubercular plane or transtubercular plane traverses anterior abdominal wall at the level of fifth lumbar vertebra and connects the iliac tubercles on both sides. Regions. Of the 9 regions, the centrally placed zone is the umbilical region. This region surrounds the umbilicus. Epigastrium is in the upper middle part of anterior abdominal wall. The pubic region, also known as hypogastrium, defines the zone immediately distal to the umbilical region. Hypochondric regions flank the epigastrium. Most of the hypochondric and part of epigastric regions are protected by lower ribs. Areas immediately to the right and left of the umbilical region are designated as right and left lumbar regions. The simplified version. A simplified version of the anterolateral abdominal uses 2 imaginary lines. That one runs the umbilicus and one passing horizontally and the other vertically. 4 quadrants separated by these planes divide the anterior abdomen into right and left upper and lower quadrants. The importance. The regions help in the medical practitioners to accurately describe the pathological processes associated with the anterior abdominal wall and to document the findings in the differential diagnosis. For example, periumbilical or hypogastric is felt during the initial stages of appendicitis, while the pain in the right iliac region occurs at a later phase in this condition. Pancreatic or esophageal disorders produce pain that project to the epigastrium. Linea alba. Linea alba, the white line, is formed in the midline by the fusion of the aponeurosis of the flat abdominal walls and may be visible through the skin of the muscular individuals. Linea semilunaris marks the lateral border of the rectus abdominis muscle, extending from the costal arch near the 9th costal cartilage to the pubic tubercle. It is a site of entry of motor nerves to the rectus muscle. The linea semilunaris are called also Spigelian hernia, consists of extraperitoneal fat covered by skin, superficial fascia, and the aponeurosis of the external oblique may be hidden at the junction of the linea semilunaris and the arcuate line of the Douglas. Now we go on to describe another competency, that is fascia of the anterior abdominal wall. Superficial fascia comprises of fatty superficial layer known as the camper fascia or fatty layer. The amount of fat in the camper fascia varies on the nutritional status of the individual. In the male, it continues inferiorly with the dartos layer of the scrotum. In female, it continues with the superficial fascia covering the labia majora. In the lower wall of the anterior abdomen, a deep membranous layer known as carpus fascia or membranous layer becomes visible. Membranous layer. This layer remains connected, though loosely, to the deep fascia that covers the aponeurosis of the external oblique muscle. Space between the deep fascia that covers the external oblique and the carpus fascia, also called as superficial inguinal pouch, is occupied by loose connective tissue. Carpus fascia is firmly attached to the linea alba and pubic symphysis. It forms the fundiform ligament of the penis and clitoris. In the male, it joins the camper fascia and continues into the scrotum as a single smooth muscle containing a layer known as the dartos. This layer is continuous with the collis fascia of the perineum and with the inferior wall of the superficial perineal pouch. In the upper thigh, it is attached to the fascia lata just below and parallel to the inguinal ligament. Since the superficial perineal pouch contains urethra, rupture of urethra may result in the extravasation of the blood and urine into the superficial perineal pouch. Accumulated blood and urine in this pouch may extend into the anterior abdominal wall between the carpus fascia and the deep fascia covering the external oblique. Because of the firm attachment of the carpus fascia to the fascia lata, inferior spread of the fluid is not possible. The space between the two layers of the superficial fascia allows passage of the cutaneous vessels, nerves, lymphatics and superficial inguinal lymph nodes. Thank you.